With you all this evening and talk about my favorite subject, which is tourism. I tell people all the time I have the greatest honor and privilege of doing this job on behalf of this city. So I'm going to zip through a presentation because they only gave me 10 minutes, and I'm happy to answer questions and hope that we'll have a really good discussion after all three of us have given our sort of spiel. But I'm going to spend just an extra minute on this slide in particular because I think it's really important. Basically, VisitLEX is the local convention and visitors bureau, which is a mouthful. So in other words, we're the tourism office for the city of Lexington. We are funded by a transient room tax, which is collected on overnight hotel stays. For a long time, that was pretty straightforward. Obviously, in the last decade, we've had to do a lot, and we're actually having a lot of conversations right now in this community about short-term rentals and how that is also very much part of the accommodations business that we find ourselves in here in Lexington. We have about 1,300 short-term rental listings in Fayette County at this moment, so it is not an insignificant number. And so there's a tax that's collected on overnight stays, be it in a hotel, an Airbnb, a bed and breakfast, motel, and a portion of that stays here in Fayette County, and it is split between the Central Bank Center and VisitLEX. And we are charged with marketing and promoting the city as recipients of those funds. And the one thing, if you don't take anything else away from this evening and my chat with you tonight, I would just want you to think in your minds, tourism is economic development. That's just it. That's just as straightforward as it gets. If you think about a community's vitality wheel and you think about how that process starts, places that are good to visit are also places that are really good to live and work and play, and they make really good places to invest. And so it takes all kinds of things to drive quality of life, which is really the heart and soul of what VisitLEX is all about. So think of it like this. Visitors fuel our economy, and they fund core city services that shape our quality of life. So when we are able to go out to all these restaurants and bars, when we're able to take our friends on the Kentucky Bourbon Trail, when we're able to visit a place like the Kentucky Horse Park, do a competition out there, or just go out there for a leisurely afternoon, a lot of that is made possible because visitors are investing in this community. And you're gonna hear the second piece of that story from my friend Andy when she's up here. So I promise I'll be a little bit quicker. Our mission is really straightforward. It is to market and sell Lexington's bluegrass region by driving economic impact through tourism and meetings. And the reason that we do that is for all of you in the room, to enhance the quality of life for those of us that call Lexington home. Turns out that tourism is a big business here in the state of Kentucky and also here in Lexington. So we have had a couple of back-to-back banner years, and tourism in Fayette County in 2023 totaled $1.6 billion. And that was actually a 9% growth over 2022. So we came out of the pandemic positioned and ready to get back to business as we knew it. And I also think it's worth noting that there are 11,500 jobs here in Fayette County generated by the tourism and hospitality industry. No surprise, since we're in the marketing and promotion business, we have brand pillars, and they're probably exactly what you think they are. Horses, bourbon, and our signature landscape. So our outdoors are a very important part of what we package and sell. I know it's something that Brittany and I have actually had a lot of conversations about over the years. And those three pillars are just core to everything that we do. However, we think there's a lot of things that make us unexpectedly cool and also make us a city that punches above our weight class in terms of being a mid-sized city that has quite a bit to offer. Arts and entertainment, culinary history, sports, shopping. I'm not going to get too much into the nitty-gritty of our marketing strategy, but we look at a lot of data. We try to decide where can our dollars go the furthest, and what will that do in terms of inspiring travel to our destination. And so, excuse me, you can see that we do a lot of targeting in the region. Ohio, Indiana tend to be our bread and butter, but also places like Michigan, Illinois, and Tennessee. We're very much looking for travelers, not tourists. So we're targeting people who are interested in meaningful experiences. And we also talk to meeting planners trying to fill up that Central Bank Center and the Kentucky Horse Park, and then of course locals. We find that one of our greatest challenges is just getting Lexington on the radar to start with. It's not that they have a bad impression, they just don't necessarily have an impression. And then oftentimes if they do have thoughts about Kentucky, it's the Kentucky Derby or Kentucky Fried Chicken or Muhammad Ali, which all have deep ties to Louisville. So we're trying to do what we can to be a differentiator between the Lexington-Louisville dynamic and to put Lexington at the forefront of that. Hey, have you thought about Kentucky? And our job is really, as it says at the bottom, to raise awareness of Lexington as a travel destination. I'm gonna see if this works real quick. If it doesn't, we won't spend too much time on it. But this was a short TV commercial that we put together. It's not gonna work. It never does. Sorry.
It's cool.
It works on TV. All to say, we have a fantastic YouTube channel and you can watch. At least you're getting some visuals. I just wanted you to see the ways that we really try and bring the city to life. And so we've got a great Look at Lexington campaign that we utilize to, Aaron, I may need you to help me get back on my tech. Never fails. Plus I'm like old and a Luddite and there we go. Okay, here's a sample of a print ad that we put together. And so the idea is, we don't have a beach, but this is basically our beach. And so we are trying to just absolutely wow you with really stunning photography, scenery that we know cannot be found virtually anywhere else. And we want to entice you with that. Once we've gotten you enticed, we want to show you all the really wonderful, rich, engaging experiences that we have around the community. So everything from arts, culture, food and beverage, shopping, all the things that you also like to do when you travel. We had great results, really strong results in 2023. We use a lot of metrics in our industry, but one key metric for us is in the hotel space. So we're always looking at things like our occupancy rate and our average daily rate at our hotels. We want to look at what demand is out there, and you can see that in 2023 we saw lots of positive movement on all the things that matter to us. We also spend some money internationally. We tend to do that in partnership with our colleagues in Louisville, Northern Kentucky, and at the State Department of Tourism. But we have focused on visitors from the UK and Canada, and we've actually been doing a test market into Toronto. Turns out that it's pretty much 9 hours south. Lexington is 9 hours south of Toronto, so we get a lot of snowbirds coming through, and we're just trying to convince them that it's actually worth getting off the interstate and staying with us. So you can see that we've had a lot more site traffic from Ontario, and that's because we've been spending some marketing dollars in the Toronto market for the very first time. Another key piece of our strategy is to tell our story. So there's bought media that we go out and buy, and then there's also earned media. We have a national PR strategy. It's been in place for about 7 years. Of course, you've got a couple in there that are weird with the pandemic, but we've seen phenomenal results in our earned media strategy. I'm telling you right now, I'm giving you a little Easter egg. Please stay tuned on October 1st. I am not allowed to say, but we have got a very big accolade that is coming our way, and I'm super jazzed about it. And so you can see some of the places that have put Lexington at the top of their travel list, which is just great credibility. The company that we keep on these lists really does put us into the traveler's mindset, which is always our goal. You also probably have seen us, I hope at least, around town. So we do things inside of Lexington to talk to locals. We want and need locals to be engaged in our process and to be passionate advocates for the destination. I actually just this afternoon, so serendipitously, was part of a research phone call, and we just got some results in, and they said that 71%, what did you love about Lexington? 71% of respondents on this survey that we did said the people. You all sitting in this room are such an important part of the tourism story that we tell, and so we obviously try to take the blue horse out and meet you where you are, things like UK football games, basketball games, Keeneland, downtown at things like Thursday Night Live and Farmers Market. That's just a way for you to know what we're up to, because we see you as a really important partner in our travel ecosystem. National Tourism Week was a big local push for us, and it happens annually in May, so just putting that on your radar to stay tuned. We talk a little bit about the economic impact of tourism during that week. As I mentioned, UK Athletics. We're going to skip this amazing bourbon video because it doesn't work, but you should watch it on YouTube. And it's just to show sort of a further fleshed out version of what we're doing in the bourbon space, but that continues to be an extremely popular reason for why people are visiting Lexington. We've launched recently a Destination Lexpert program. This is to equip our frontline staff with the resources that they need to be able to better take care of our guests. We don't want anyone walking up to a front desk saying what's happening in town tonight or what is there to do and getting a blank face in return saying nothing, because there are loads of things happening in this city. And so this was our effort, just launched in July, to really target the front line and get them engaged with all the resources that we have to offer, but it's also available to community members if you're so inclined. One last note about our meetings and conventions. We have a beautiful convention center, newly renovated and expanded. We also have the Kentucky Horse Park, and then we have a number of meeting spaces throughout the community. Meetings are big business. A meeting traveler spends almost double what just a leisure traveler spends, and so we want to make sure that our convention center is filled, bustling with activity. We also know there's a great halo effect. They come to town for a business meeting, but they're taking advantage of our tours, they're taking advantage of restaurant reservations, of shopping, and so that dollar ends up compounding and making a strong investment. This is just showing you a little bit of that creative. Here is our visitor center, which is open every day of the week except Sundays, and we would love to have you pop by if you've not been in. It's a great place to send folks who are visiting, as well as a great place to do some shopping. We've got all kinds of resources available to you as you're hosting friends and family, and we'd love to stay in touch with you. It's super easy to get on our email list. These are probably things we'll talk a little bit more about in our Q&A, but I just wanted to let you know there's a lot that's actually happening around the city that's in development. So never resting on our laurels, always very excited about what's next. So I think with that, I will pass it back to Brittany.